We can start. Oh. Om. Om. Sahana bhavatu, Sahano bhunaktu, Sahaviryam karavavahai, Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्च अर्थेष्वभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्महृदाय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकम् सत्यं परं धीमहि सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् ततो जयमुदीरयेत्.
Aarti, please allow me to share the document. So we had completed this, right? About
Parashurama.
Can start from this, no?
Yeah.
Vasishta was second. Did we start this? I don't remember.
No, I don't think so. We will read.
Vasishta hosts the king. We are looking at Parshurama Avatara. Parshurama Avatara is spread across 3-4 chapters in this book. So this is a continuation, I think, of Parshurama Avatara. And Vishwamitra maybe, anyhow. Moving to Vishwamitra, because Kaushika is coming here. Yeah, this is Vishwamitra. So, Parashurama, it is said that this Rama is an avatar of the Lord meant to rid the world of the burden of sinful men like Heyas. It is also said that Rama will be one of the 7 rishis in the next Manvantara. So, Parashurama is done. We are moving to the next Katha. Vashishta hosts the king. Pururavas had 6 sons, the eldest of whom was Ayu. His descendants were Nahusha, his son Yayati, and after Yayati, Puru. The later kings were more famed as Pauravas. Vijaya was the name of the youngest son of Pururavas. Vijaya was the father of a son by name Bhima. Bhima's son was Kanchana and his son was Jahnu, who later swallowed the river Ganga when she rushed in tumult following Bhagirath. Janhu's son was Puru and his son was Balaka. Balaka's son was Ajaka. Ajaka had a son named Kusha, and Kusha had 4 sons, youngest of whom was Kushanabha. Gadhi, the father of Satyavati, was the son of Kushanabha. Gadhi's son was Kaushika.
Oh, so
Later,
Vishwamitra and Satyavati are
the
sister and
sisters looks
brother.
like, yeah, that's what I was also thinking. Didn't know about it.
Yeah.
Gadhi's
We
son,
thought Satyavati Gadhi was a fisherman.
yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Gadi, the father of Satyavati, was the son of Kushanabha. Gadi's son was Kaushika, later more famous by name Vishwamitra. Kaushika was a very famous king. He ruled his subjects well and he was reputed to be a very good king. Once he had gone to the forest with a large army. He was, see, actually, sometimes when we look at it, just the Mahabharata also brings out a lot of questions related to that Kshatriya, that clan, right? But there is so much of mix and match even in Bhagavatam. If we see, it is not so strict. Somebody born in as a Brahmana with Kshatriya qualities, we just saw Parshurama, right? Someone born in that Kshatriya family had that Brahmana quality, who was the other thing, right? In the embryo only they had that quality we saw. So many.
So this is not that Satyavati Bala.
Oh, it's different, huh? Okay.
So this is not the Satyavati who became the wife of Shantanu. Satyavati was the wife of sage Richika and mother of Jamadagni.
Yeah, we did read about that something before. Correct.
Okay, so this is a different Satyavati. Just wanted to confirm that.
Yeah, that is right then. Yeah, because she's fisher woman and yes. So Satyavati is also the mother of Vedavyasa, right?
Yeah, there the other Satyavati, not this Satyavati. That fisherman Satyavati was the mother of Vedavyasa.
So Pururavas, this is all that Puru dynasty, something that we are talking about.
So, ma'am, this Satyavati you said is the father of Jamadagni?
Mother of Jamadagni.
Mother. So, maybe Parashurama's grandmother, no?
In a way, Parashurama's grandmother. So they're all Pauravas, so-called, and So in a way, that grandmother, Gadhi was the great grandfather. So Vishwamitra would be in a way related
cousin,
to Parashurama, right?
Maybe cousin or
No.
Gadhi's son.
Gadhi's son, Satyavati was grandmother. So he is Mama, Mama Tata.
Mama, something like that. If we had read this in history, it would have been so interesting, no?
Yeah.
All these names
Yes,
also.
absolutely.
All these names
Finally
also
learned
we would have remembered. Now,
This particular chapter is lots of names.
the attention is not going in those names now. But instead of reading Babur and Shah Jahan and Aurangzeb, we could have read all this. Anyway, Kaushika was a very famous king. He ruled his subjects well and he was reputed to be a very good king. Once he had gone to the forest with a large army. He was visiting several places. He visited cities which were ruled by him, and in the course of his journey, he saw many beautiful rivers, hills, and ashramas nestling at their sides. One such ashrama was that of Vasishtha, the son of Brahma. From a distance, Kaushika could see the flowering trees and shrubs, and he could see the orchards. And there was a small stream flowing slowly past the ashram. Several deer and other tame animals could be seen, and the king was surprised that Siddhas, Charanas, as well as Gandharvas and Kinnaras could be seen in the spot. The place resounded with the music made by the birds which had nests on the trees, and there was nothing but peace reigning there in the ashrama and in the forest surrounding the ashrama. On going nearer, the king saw several rishis performing tapas, and there were many who were bent on meditation and who seemed lost to the outside world. It seemed to him that Brahmaloka, of which he had heard, was not in the heavens, but here on earth, where Vasishtha was. Beautiful, see? The entire description in Srimad Bhagavatam, if we look at. So to even recognize that Kaushika, had that level of mental purity to even recognize, because he is able to see that Gandharvas, Charanas, Siddhas, it's not that they are there. Swami says, no, there are few which are in the Indra Pratyaksha. Indra Pratyaksha means the senses can perceive. Yeah? There are, all these are Manasa Pratyaksha. A mind which is tuned to that only can perceive all that. Otherwise, when we are caught in this Indrajal, in the net of this Indra Pratyaksha, then the mind is not even available to, the beings are there always. It is just that the mind has to, where there is a strange peace when the mind feels, which means all these higher beings are there blessing. That is why we always see, right, when Krishna is born, the devatas are flowering. The way, all that is because such so much of that positivity, and we also feel the vibe, we say the vibration of the place nowadays, right? We see that. So that's what it is. It is drawing Kaushika to, this is the way Ishvara is drawing the jiva closer to him, we can say. The journey begins for Kaushika. Here we can say the turning point. It draws him there to the Vasishta's ashrama, which is so beautifully described here. Even when Parikshit sits in that Ganga, that's how Bhagavatam describes, right? When he's sitting there with that deep longing to know what he has to do in this 7 days, before he faces death. So that with that deep longing, with nothing else, with pure vairagya, with no other attachments, no desires, desirelessness. So he sits there, and there he is seeing the rishis. He is actually able to feel the presence of so many rishis. The list is given in Srimad Bhagavatam, right? All the rishis, again Gandharvas, Kinnara, they all are there. So in that environment enters who?
Somebody should answer this.
Yeah.
We are going back to the beginning. Huh?
Shuka Brahma.
Very
Shika
good.
Brahma.
Hmm.
Yeah. As if, so that the word that Bhagavatam uses is edricha. Edricha. All these are, it doesn't happen with any plan. So when things are so conducive, and when there is that deep longing within, he doesn't call for, he doesn't ask, will I get guru, will I get some, no, he's just there with complete vairagya, just there. So automatically, whatever is needed is given by that Ishvara. So Shukamuni comes there, Shuka Brahman. Like that here, he is drawn, Kaushika is drawn to the Vasishta Ashrama. It is so beautiful to see always the way the Ishvara is bringing things together for the Jiva. So he's a good king. So he's in the dharma. So dharma, as long as one is holding on to dharma, what is that? Rakshati, something comes, no?
Dharmo rakshati rakshitaha.
The one who holds on to his dharma also, dharma itself protects him, meaning this is what it takes him to the next. We don't have to think when it's my turn will come. We don't know how his ways. He's a very good king, very famous king. He ruled his subjects well. His dharma, he was in the dharma, in this dharma. So time has now come for the great journey of becoming Vishwamitra. Anything, Arti?
No. Generally, when we are talking about dharma is all, that like it is my kartavya. Whatever is, it is the kartavya. When we say kartavya, duty becomes a very English, very limited English word. The dharma is and kartavya. So it is to say that once there was a nice discussion about whether we do it for kartavya or love. I'm wondering where it was. In Bhagavatam only, I remember. See, again, love can be misunderstood when we say. And out of love, I can get overly attached also to something whenever I am doing my work out of love, whether it is in the family, whether it is, in wherever we are, whatever kshetra we are, when we are in that love can be misunderstood. Attachment can be, or raga, or craving can be misunderstood as love sometimes. But if that love is anchored in dharma, or that strong conviction that this is, I am just put here as his servant, the Lord's servant, and I am serving him through serving whoever is here. And if with that attitude, then that love, there will be respect, then there is in the relationship also, and then there is love. Because the service is to the divinity in this whole thing. So when we are talking about dharma, Raja also, even when it was Lord Rama, he followed his dharma. He always put, his father told him, that is his dharma. His brothers, it was his dharma to go save his wife. He did whatever was to protect her. He did everything possible to protect her. But when it was also his dharma as a king, he also did his dharma as the king. So in every space, the I is made. There is no I. I am in service of the Lord through whatever is the karma that is happening. So then it becomes a karma yoga. And there is no accumulation. Then it becomes a complete surrender and a complete going with the flow thing. So that is why here, when Babala was talking about dharma, I just thought, it's all about that kartavya, the duty. There is nothing great about doing your duty. If you don't do it, then there is something. There is nothing great or to be, applauded or praised, or, from our side as an expectation. From the other side, what they do, that is their dharma. That is another thing. But as somebody who is performing my dharma, it is not. It is something that we do as a service through patience, through endurance, putting my dharma, not the people, but my dharma at the priority, even beyond me sometimes. Yes, Rajeshri. Sorry, not Rajeshri, Divya.
Ma'am, can you just elaborate that dharma? So there is dharma, there can be love, but no attachment.
In dharma, see, what is love is a very important question, right? when I am doing it as a service to the divine, everybody that I am seeing around is the divine for me to serve, then that is love, right? But it's a different kind of love, which has no attachment. I don't know if if this is clear.
See, a simple example, bhava, from the bhava point of view, which I can share is, see, when we, for example, it is a child's birthday, and children are coming. We do out of love for my child there. Yeah, everyone, whoever comes there is taken care. All the children are looked like my children, and whatever is needed is given to them. Everybody is made comfortable. So what is the connect there? It is my child, right? So same in bhakti, what happens? Krishna, that is the very first upadesha that Krishna gives to Vasudeva and Devaki. He says, know that I am your child and also know that I am divine. So that my is the problem. Just leave, because we know, we know what is love. There is no doubt about it. Yeah, but we are caught in me and mine. That's all. So that bhava that we get when we serve my child, my whatever, that if we are able to see the same bhava in serving
Every child.
everything, every little
But
small little plant, you see a small plant as your own child, or whatever. That means there is no condition. It is unconditioned love, which is just there, which is there always. We just have to remove that mind, that's all. It is not an intellectual thing. We just have to say, oh, give me that bhava. And he gives. So we just have to surrender and, or remember that everything is divine. Remember constantly. Then it becomes true.
yeah,
Everything is divine. Just remember, because that is truth. Right? If the I in me is him, then the I in somebody else is also him, isn't it? So then what is the where is so that is why constantly remembering the Lord in every act we do is the practice of karma yoga. Then at one point in time for a jnani it becomes just spontaneous. Just like how, that is why they say it is not like so this is true love. If you look at the way the Ishvara's love is true love. We are moving, we are still in the doing plane. We are moving, we are saying, by doing the work that you have given me for this instrument, doing it completely as your service, which means what, I'm still there. This ego, it is not in my capability to dissolve this ego. It is there. So similarly, my own attachments, my own thing, all this, through the buddhi conviction, know that I am, there is no separate ego, there is no separate doer. Know that and incessantly remember it while acting. Love just is there. That's all. The moment there is some anxiety, some worry, some speciality somewhere, we must know we are caught up in that attachment. That's all. Then say, oh, I'm there, and step apart and see, we will see just love is there. So the bhava that we get, see, when we look at something, see, these are few at the bhava level. If you look at it, say something related to something that we are attached to, say my child's dress, for example. I'm just looking at I'm just taking all these from the bhava, because you asked dharma just as love, right? So just coming from that angle. So something who you have so much of respect, so much of love, okay, you see some object related to that also, then you remember that person with so much of love. That love is there, right? So the entire Vishwam is him. If we are able to relate to everything as his own, then that bhava comes. You know, what can we do? Oh, I get this bhava here because we know what is attachment. Yes, we know that. So we are saying, oh, my child's, now I'm remembering my child with so much of love here. So similarly, everything is him. Why am I not remembering him? So it is because I and me is there. So please dissolve this. It has to be a constant conversation with the Lord, constant remembrance, incessantly remembering him and being at his feet, and things work. Then we don't remember about us, our attachments. So that is what in Bhagavad Gita he says, right? Matta smriti jnana apohana. He says, from me comes smriti. What is smriti? Remembering who we are truly. That is smriti. That comes from him. I'm not this body or the mind or the conviction or the, all the clouds that are covering the truth. So I'm not all these. Who we are. That only it is a remembrance and recognition. So remembering that, matta smriti jnana. So knowing it, know. Even the buddhi, it is finally that subtle most is the buddhi. Buddhi has to take us there. So the buddhi must know. Only so much we can do. Later, it is him who will make us forget all our wrong conclusions. It is, I am attached to that love is there between me and my child, not because of this ego. It is because of divine only. Divine is present there, divine is flowing. That is what even that mantra of Brihadaranya comes, right? Atmanastu kamaya sarvam priyam bhavati. It is the desire which is there in that Atman. It is that pure love which is there in the Atman, which is expressed as priyam to somebody. But it is finally that love which is the nature, which is my own nature. So if it is not conditioned within me and mine, and that condition is removed, it becomes unconditional love. So that is when one is really in the dharma. One is really, until then, we surrender, we pray, that is practice part. We are there in the doing plane. So we keep doing it and it will happen. So apohanam is where he gives the forgetfulness of our ajnana. Smriti is where he gives the remembrance, recognition of who truly we are. And jnana is where, we just know. That's all. It's just there.
So
So
simply
dharma
put, there is
out of love is that. That's how we see the masters. Example are the masters. Who were in pure dharma, only masters are there. We are in the doing plane. We practice it. They are showing us the way. Was that clear, Rajeshri? Something came up for you?
it's Divya.
Yeah,
Ah,
yeah. But again, following dharma as such is not an intellectual this. There is no bhava in that. Only when the bhava comes, it is. I'm still not. Okay.
How
In
can you
dharma, there is
distinguish in
bhava.
dharma? Then
In
we
the
become mechanical, isn't it? If there is no bhava.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
there is no, so that is the thing. No, if it is that again, when you say I'm doing it for duty, see, that is also a bhava only, but it is not that inner bhava which is coming from the true self. It is an emotion which is distorted
Acha,
by
it's
the
like
I there. I
I know.
have to do, so I am doing. So, but when
Vikarma.
when we say it is dharma, so it is not only about kid. You go and plant a tree. Then you go and plant the tree. There is a bhava. You feel this is, I must do this. What is the point? I mean, we take so much from earth. We must give back in some way. There is that strong bhava within, right? That this dharma must be done. This is just a dharma. There is nothing great I need to think about it. I have been given this opportunity. Somewhere there is this strong thing that, I must go and plant some trees. Then that I-ness will not be there. So dharma, yeah, it is my duty. What do I do? What happens is sometimes we are humans. Okay, we are humans, and we may not feel that even that I may come up. Maybe the I will come up, but sometimes the I will come up, and sometimes the I will not come up, and we will be able to do it very beautifully from the deep love and bhava. But when we are rooted in the dharma, we will not stray from that dharma, whether the I has come or this has come. But if we are not rooted in even if I am kind of, what would I say, someday frustrated and do something, still we don't stray from the dharma, because that dharma is the stronger one there. But then we have been doing, and then we also see the value, how beautiful this whole thing is, because our mind is fickle. The mind goes this way, that way. The I comes up sometimes. So I read this beautiful line. Motivation is temporary. Discipline is more permanent than motivation.
Yes.
You don't feel motivated all the time.
Yes.
But that discipline is somewhere you keep doing it. You keep doing it. You don't give in to that fickleness of the mind.
Oh, that
You
is when
don't give in to the fickleness of the mind. So there what happens, that dharma grounds you, it anchors you. In spite of the mind going this way and that way. One day you may feel the I may come up, another day you may feel the love of the divine in that whole thing. But in all of this, you are anchored and continue whatever is happening. If you get swayed in the I and do not see the love or that bhava behind that action, maybe we have gone too far away. We have to find our rootedness back there. That's all. Rootedness by removing the I. By just follow the I. This Bhagavad Gita shloka 14.27. It says, Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vyasya cha. So it says, I am the basis of the formless Brahman. So this shloka, in this shloka, Krishna says, I am the abode of the Brahman. Which means that I, aham, when we are saying aham brahmasmi, if you want to know the love which is God, the Satchit Ananda, the Satyam Shivam Sundaram, if you want to know that, all you have to do is follow the I, the aham spurti that keeps coming up. You follow that aham, and I am in that. This I will disappear, and that Brahman will, or that Satyam, Shivam, Sundaram, that Chittananda experience, that calm will follow. You just have to follow that aham, the I there. So, when in dharma we are anchored, sometimes it is highly possible, the mind is fickle, we are still not like those realized beings. So sometimes the I will come up, sometimes the love will, sometimes you will feel that sense of gratitude and everything. That is the way things are. But whenever the I comes up, just follow the I, and you will find that peace within, so that you don't go too far. And also, being anchored in dharma does not take you away from what is your dharma. If you are anchored in love, and that love becomes attachment and it goes in a different directions, what is it that can bring me back when I don't see it? Because that true love is the love which emanates from that Satyam Shivam Sundaram, that the one that is closest to that is the true love. Every other love which is distorted by I is because of attachment. And Swamiji says there are 3 possessions for all of us. 3 things that everybody possesses. One is spouse, other is children, other is house. For these 3 things, we have the highest possession. Possession means what? I, me, mine. These are mine. The house is mine. The husband is mine. And that is why we have the highest, whatever, conflicts also with this. Because our attachment is highest in this. The position is stronger here. That is why the conflicts are also highest within this. I get it all the time. The conflicts within the low closest relatives is the highest because we possess somewhere very highly. So move from possession to being a caretaker, a servitude attitude. It may go whatever, but again, it is my kartavya. It is not a kartavya, or it is a dharma. It is God's opportunity for me to serve. What more? Yajna is the true spirit. I've been given this opportunity to serve in whatever situation I am, then life can become blissful. If that attitude comes. And whether even that attitude fails, you continue and through endurance, titiksha, to continue to do your dharma. And then at some stage you will also come back. So rooting in that dharma, that way is. Hope that answers reasonably, Divya.
Yeah, ma'am. Yeah, that's why they
Okay.
say it's important to show up no matter how you feel. So your discipline, it's like emphasizing on the discipline part more than the mental
Huh.
awakening.
Yeah, today I don't feel, tomorrow I don't feel. See that those are the plays of the Prakriti in us. So we just whatever the self is beyond even the Prakriti. Prakriti is made of the Triguna, Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. It will have play. One day the Tamas will come up higher, one day the Rajas will come up higher. So, but if that self is rooted in the Dharma, then in discipline, that will bring discipline in the dharma. And more than giving too much weightage to I feel like this, I don't feel like this, somehow I like this, I don't like this, instead of giving into all of this, just be rooted in this is my dharma, this has come by me, this is what is being given to me by the Supreme for a certain reason. So just go ahead and do what is needed to be done. Okay.
And for
Thank
a sadhaka, this discipline is discipline is only at the mind, body level. So this anushtana is very, very, very important. Only that will take us. Only that, I don't know, many of us would have seen such. One of my grandmothers, that discipline was so much in them, that there is no other option. That is how it is. It is so cold in the morning, doesn't matter. If it is that December month, okay, early morning in Brahma Muhurta, well bath has to be taken, and then they do their japa, they come back, they do the puja, whatever. Till her last day, she has ground chandan for puja. Okay, what gives all that? It is tireless karma yoga we have seen in the way she has lived, and so it is at the body level. So even our own culture, if we look at it, if we follow it, gives a beautiful framework for that discipline in the body. Somehow with this you know education and the work timings and so many other things, uh, the body discipline has been compromised. So we need to bring it back. It is high time. Do not think about anything else.
When we
It is
follow
all
that
about.
discipline like that, no, automatically I am not the body is happening, I am not the mind is
Yeah.
happening, you're just doing everything. Everything
Yes.
is falling off automatically when you are just with that
Yes,
discipline.
yes, that is very beautiful. Have whatever is possible, not to get into an extreme thing. What initially, step by step, we can, have a Nitya Anushtan. Swami talks, it's a very beautiful, in the dialogue in Arunachala, there is one thing where he talks about what is most important for a sadhaka, is the question. And the very first thing he says is, very important for a sadhaka is a day, today. From morning to evening is the time given by the Lord. It is Lord Himself. If I waste even 1 minute, I am wasting Him. That kind of respect must be there in the mind. And waking up till evening, how is the mind engaged? What is the body doing? Do I get this experience? Do I get that experience? Is there peace of mind? Is the mind chattering? All this is the rubbish talking of my ego and ego alone. Fast your ego. Ego fasting has to be done. Then it thins, stops. The best way to stop the chattering of ego, what is all the questions that arise, is the ego's question. Like this. I'm not talking about the fundamental seeking questions. All these. So everything. Why my mind is not peaceful? I did so much japa, still the mind is chat. Ego is blabbering something. That's all. Continue. So we don't even have to remind ourselves if we have a Nitya Anushtana in place and if we continue doing that. It is important for the sadhaka. It is only then it becomes it, so that it calls for a lifestyle change. If I'm serious about it, I have to bring in the lifestyle change. Otherwise, it will be one other part in the life. That's all. It will not touch me.
Yes, thank you, Baba.
We'll continue.
Yeah. So, so the Kshatriyas, Vasishtha, so he recognizes that and he goes there. It is a rule among you can read it.
Okay. It is a rule among Kshatriyas that they should not pass the ashrama of a rishi without paying respect to him. In return, the rishi welcomes him and honors him, since the king is said to be Narayana himself. Kaushika enters the ashrama of the great Vasishtha and prostrates before the rishi. Vasishtha was very pleased to see him and welcomed him with great joy and excitement. He sent for a seat noble enough to befit a king, and he made Kaushika sit on it. He then offered fruits and water. Kaushika received all this with humility befitting a great king, and they spoke to each other about general things. Vasishtha asked the conventional questions which should be asked. He said, I hope you are well. I'm sure your subjects are happy under your rule, which I'm sure is very righteous. I hope your servants are well behaved and obedient, or all your enemies subdued, and is your army large and powerful? Is your treasury full? Are your children well and happy? Kaushika answered them all in the affirmative, and in his turn inquired about the well-being of the rishi and the inmates of his ashrama, and if they were able to pursue their tapas without disturbance from wild animals and such. Each had great respect for the other, and they spent a long time talking to each other about many things. After a long time had passed, Vasishtha said, I want you to accept my hospitality. It is a rare honor that you have visited my ashrama with your army. I want to entertain you. You are a righteous king and a good man. I am pleased of doing so. Kaushika was greatly touched by the words of the rishi. He spoke humbly and said, Your words, full of affection, have done more than a feast can do. You have already given me fruits and milk. The sight of you has made us pure for birth after birth. What need is there for you to entertain us? You are the person who should be honored as a god, and it is not right that you should say, I am to be felt. I am to be honored. I will soon be taking leave of you to continue my journey. Kaushika felt that if it would just embarrass the rishi to feed so many of them, and to save him from this, he rose up very tactfully as if to go. Vasishtha would have none of it. Again and again he insisted that the king with his retinue should accept his hospitality. Finally, Kaushika had to accede to his request and said, So be it. My lord, you are so eager to play host to us, and I do not have the chance to escape from your goodness. They laughed together and they walked out of the ashrama. Vasishtha called out, Surabhi, child, Shabale, come here at once. Kaushik, do you want to stop here or should we continue, Bala?
How much are there? Anything coming
Okay, we
for
can
you?
stop. The beauty, Atiti, The word Atiti is, Titi is a date. Titi is a date, and Atiti means without a date, which means an unannounced guest is called Atiti. Right? When we have a guest coming home, what do we suddenly somebody comes, Arey Baba, we had to go to this movie. Now this person is coming, now everything we have to cancel and we have to sit at home. We say, no, we are going to a movie. You please go. You know, not today, maybe it will. See, we have become very westernized. This is, you have to announce and go to anybody's house. But typically in an India, it has become really difficult also. Actually, in today's date, so many plans and everything. So, but a typical Atiti, I know of, Atiti is one who has come as an unannounced guest. Atiti Devo Bhava, when we are saying Atiti Devo Bhava, they are the ones who have come without announcing. Someday somebody comes and sits outside, and suddenly now God has come to your house. You treat them like you would treat God. It is like God themselves have come here to test. If you look at it, it's a beautiful to have a guest who has come. You have already made arrangements with them, and they are coming very prepared, right, in the mind. You are prepared in the mind. You have all the vegetables. You have this. You have that. But when suddenly somebody comes, it flusters us unannounced. If they come, it takes away my plans. I don't know what to give them. I don't have anything properly at home. What do I have? What do I give? And my whatever my day, the way I had thought, I wanted, the way my plans are going uh, differently, or they are getting affected. So all this can cause a lot of mental, what would I say, chanchala, restlessness in the mind. And that is why an Atiti has been told to us to be treated like God. And that is what here Vashishta is giving. So I know a friend of mine who used to say, now I thought, I personally, I felt that was going a little over, but just that person would not eat without feeding some Atiti.
No, this used to be there earlier.
Ah,
I've heard such,
yeah.
people. Because Devo Bhava, right? It is Narayana is bringing somebody who is hungry, seeking food, and Narayana is giving the host, whatever, the opportunity to feed that hunger.
Correct.
Yadevi
If they
Sarva
come
Bhute.
themselves, but if this person is waiting and waiting
Yeah,
outside,
they will not eat until
they
one
will not
Atiti
eat
comes.
if an Atiti has not come, and they'll be
Yes.
waiting, and whoever passerby is there. This
No,
his
no.
that person's granddaughter was there in my how was working with me. She would say, we would tell Tata come. He would, whoever is there, he will say, please come and eat, please
Yeah,
come and eat. And we would say, he would be like, Nan tinbit bandidini mapa. So, but it can get it. But
yeah.
basically, at lunchtime, if somebody comes, you feed them, whoever it is, they are God that day when they have eaten. It could be, uh, and we wouldn't, right? If a maid is there at that point in time, you give them food because they are seeing, they are there. That is, you have not prepared maybe, but someday that maid has come late and is there during lunchtime and is working. You give the food. You have any person who is there at lunchtime. You don't feel like eating just by yourself, right? When they are also there, so give it to them first. That is, they are God. Atiti can come in so many different forms, right? So um, it is just about keeping this in mind. Atiti. So here Vishwamitra was an Atiti to Vashishta, and he's treating him like God, and he's saying, "No, we have to feed you," and he's sending him.
Hmm. On a very different note, I remember one small incident when we were in UK. Hmm. Our culture, that is the thing. It's about Tyaga. It is about giving, not thinking about me and mine, right? It is so. some child had come to play with my daughter was also very young at that time. So she was an English Indian lady. So that child wanted something which was just one was there, okay, to eat. So my daughter just gave. Hmm? And she also finished it. We were talking. And then the mother was telling me, you have to train the child so that first she should have and then give to that. That's the, like Aarti was mentioning. I'm not blaming anything. It is their culture, probably. Okay. It's not about blaming, but then their culture. But then I said, but we are trained like that. First to give. It doesn't matter. One time I don't have what is there. It is okay. We know that golden mongoose, right? That kind of thing is, glorified, right? Because they are in poverty. A mongoose comes and a saint comes there. A mongoose is there in the house. Somebody comes there, right? And in poverty and with so much little food, they give whatever is there to the one, that Aditi who has come. To share food with somebody when we are hungry is very difficult. It is not easy. That is why
I was reading this story. Who was it about?
In Bhagavatam only, no, there is that story in Ikshvaku clan, Rama's ancestor, Sri Rama's ancestor, one Raja.
Hmm.
He was
Yeah, tell
fasting.
that story, no,
Then,
Divya?
ma'am, I don't remember the entire details. It's like he was fasting and then Shiva
Ambarisha.
come. Ah,
Ambarish Maharaj.
not Ambarish Maharaj, ma'am. It's some Rati, something which are not Rati.
Okay.
Here
Uh,
in this chapter we saw also
Rati Deva.
Ranti Deva.
Ranjit.
Ranti Deva.
Ah.
Correct. He also
Then
finishes his.
Shiva comes as a Chandala and they all ask him for food and he gives, so his
Yeah. Long back we have read that Ranti Deva.
Ranti Deva, sorry.
Mhm. Correct. It is like,
Even in
someone
the
who is
plane,
already
they
in
say,
poverty.
right? You
Hmm?
wear your uh, this thing in
Ask,
Uh,
case
yeah.
oxygen first. If my
Mask,
child is there, how will I not put it for the child first and then put it on myself first, right? Or not only child, anybody, right?
yeah. It's
Hmm.
very, uh, that's the thing, it is
Not that.
tyag, it is important. It is okay to go through pain. Suffering is looked at, the more and more we see Srimad Bhagavatam and the way the saints say is, we always run out of suffering. There's so much fear in the so-called modern culture. But then suffering is, why are we suffering if God is there? Hare? Suffering is a blessing given. Not suffering, we can say pain. And suffering is our choice, right? So pain, the whatever it is there, that's all. Mahaperibha also tells one devotee comes and asks, those days, the Vaidika Brahmanas, it was very difficult for them. Many were in poverty, no recognition. And so he comes and he asks, why Periyava, we are suffering like this, it is so difficult. And should we hold on to this dharma? you know why is it that even I have to bring my sons also in the same Vaidika? It is better they do this education, and because they can fare very well there. Should I do this? So Periva says, dharma, don't leave your dharma. More you leave, that is something. Dharma, another root word they say is dhr, they say it's a support, that which holds it together, that is holding at all levels, starting from the very outer level of the society till within. Dharma is the one which holds. So, to hold you also, to hold the peace that you seek moment to moment to moment. That is dharma. So, then, but Roma customer it is very difficult. It says, Kashtapadu. Go through that endure. Endurance is again another thing given by the Lord. Tam Stitikshasva Bharata. So such saints, that is how saints are made. With so much of titiksha. They are not just made like this. If with so much of titiksha, that is what scriptures say. Tyaga is a Daivi guna, Daivi sampat.
He takes away.
Yeah.
When the more he loves us, he takes it away. He's actually lightening things for us. But we are still caught with our I, me, and the ego. He's giving us opportunity through titiksha to thaw that I, me, and myself. And he'll give only when we are ready.
Yeah, that he knows.
He knows when to give.
He knows our level of titiksha.
Yeah.
Only so much.
According to how much one can take, only he will give.
Yeah. That beautiful thing is there. No, I don't know the poem, but Muruganar, a very close devotee of Ramana Bhagwan, writes, a poem. In that, he very beautifully expresses to Lord Arunachala. It goes like the conversation with Annamalayar, Arunachala. He says, "Oh Arunachala, what is it that you have done to a small little boy? His Guru Bhakti." He says, to small little boy, you came surrendering completely to you at the age of 16 or 17, whatever. And, Niye Gati Endru, he just everything is you. That is how he came to you. And what is it that you did? You gave so much. He lists all the difficulties that Bhagavan faces, Ramana Maharishi faces, when he comes as that small boy to Annamalai, to Arunachala. He says, you made him sleep on that hair of elephant, In those days, they would just cut the hair and put it down. That was the warm blanket for Bhagwan. So he used to go and sleep there, and he had to take bhiksha. And there were many miscreants who, in fact, they say would put paste of green chilies, so many things, People are there, right, to test whether he's a real sadhu. So many things he has faced. So, where were you at that time, and why do you give so much to the one who surrendered to you? That is the question he asks first. And then, as an answer that Arunachala gives, Muruganar writes, he says, "Oh, I know he is my child. This is to show to the world that the one who has completely surrendered to me will never complain. He never asked, why me? There is absolute no question. He never asked. He to show to the world that he can endure. But a true bhakta endures everything as Bhagavad Prasada. To show to the world, and see now how he is. He is or Nirar Kudai Kove, it's written, He is there like a king, a Chakravarti, who has won over the samsara chakra, the disease of becoming. He's the Chakravarti, and he's there, and I never allowed him to go even an inch away from me, says Arunachala. This is how Muruganar writes. Never allowed him to go even an away inch from me, and the entire world is at his feet. So that is a stage where bhakta with complete surrender, endurance is not just tolerance. Titiksha is knowing it is, but the pain is also Bhagavan. Knowing that is also the form of the Lord, and enduring it with absolute no thoughts or mind. That is how Ramana Bhagavan was. So endurance is, if we are put to test, then we must know it is blessing in disguise. That doesn't mean if we are not put to test, is not blessing.
We are put to test in our own ways as much as we can bear it. We are being put to test every day.
We don't have to compare ours and with others.
Yeah, that is a different level of test, and everybody has. And it is a form of blessing. Like Kunti, to look at all sufferings that come to our life as a form of his blessing. To remember him and to be able to endure and still perform my dharma. Be with my dharma. And be with him in that process. That's all. We will read one more paragraph maybe. Kaushika was wondering whom he was calling, and even as he was thinking about it, a beautiful cow came and stood before Vashishta and said, "You called me, father?" Kaushika saw the cow was beautiful. She had a lovely shape, and her hide was mottled black and white. Her eyes were soft and gentle. Vashishta said, "Shabale, listen to my words. This is the king of this country, and his name is Kaushika. He has come with his army, and I wish to entertain him with his retinue. Prepare for them a feast with all the necessary things. Let there be nothing lacking, and I want them all to go back satisfied. Hurry and create everything." Shabalu was Kamadhenu, the divine cow which rose up out of the ocean of milk when the Devas and Asuras churned her for Amrita. She had been given to Vashishta. She
See,
created a feast.
here,
Huh?
one second. I'm just remembering the way. So Vashishta was a realized being, no? Brahma's son, blessed with that. So um, once Swami was talking about that sarvajñatva of a Jivan Mukta. What is that? So that is when he said, Sarvajña means we all think he knows everything. That is the translation, right? So what does it mean? So here this Kamadhenu as a symbol of that. Basically, whatever is necessary at every moment is available. It is not that they are creating as an individual. Okay, it is available. And we call it siddhi. So Swami always says that's not a siddhi. It is just spontaneously there, and that Ishvara Shakti opens. Ishvara Shakti, it is not that that individual is ordering. He is one with that Shakti, and it just opens and it's available for. That is why we hear so many stories of saints where, even that Mahaperivas we have heard, it is like in one village. Yes, this is very similar to this Vasishta Kamadhenu. One incident in Mahaperiva's life. There are many, I'm sure, if somebody else knows something else. A very remote village they were staying. Those days he was traveling on foot actually, and with very few devotees, and they had food only for so many. Okay, so that evening after his sandhya, whatever his anushtana, Periva comes and tells to his one of his devotee who's cooking. He says, "Today you cook for 120 people, a very remote village." And they will not ask anything also to the saint. They were wondering, they say, "Ah, Periva," and he walks away. And they are wondering, how come 120 and where do we get all the things from? They have only things for, so this is sarvajñatva. This is one. So he walks away, he continues his japa puja, whatever. This is what he has told them, and devotees are wondering what to do. And in another 10-15 minutes, a carriage, it is said that those days carts, no, bullock carts, there were 6-7 bullock carts full of groceries which come there with people also, and they get down and they see some lights there and they are asking what, and then we are, few people, and with the saint we are staying here. So they say we are traveling from a very long distance, we do not have access to cooking and all that, but we've gotten these groceries. There is a batch of some people coming in. So it comes exactly to 120. And they had all the groceries and vegetables that was needed. And these people had the cooking facility. And they ended up cooking for 120 people. Atiti Devo Bhava. See, this is how Bhagavan works. And all of them were fed. This is Kamadhenu. And that is the beauty. It is this is Sarvajñatva, this was explained. So this is Kamadhenu. It's also beautifully given as a symbolism, but then this is that.
Another
So
thing that came to my mind as I was reading this was, why is Vashishta calling this cow and telling all these details and showing this to Vishwamitra? We will see that eventually. He's calling. Vishwamitra comes there. There is some readiness in him, and whatever is happening here is a way now to help Vishwamitra evolve further from what he was actually. So everything, so he's calling there and showing this abundance of how things are happening and everything. Mm, there is a reason why it is happening also. So
Yeah. So
the
he's
abundance in that faith, there is abundance. That moment, there is abundance. That is why that Atiti, every single person, any new situation, any situation is treated like a prasad. Any person coming spontaneously in our life is an Atiti. All this is a form of surrender to the divine. And then when that happens, that surrender happens, the divine makes it happen. Yes, Bala, you were saying something.
Yeah, same thing. Yeah.
I think we'll close, no, today.
Yes.
Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadhaya Purnameva Vashishyate Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Santu Akashidha Bhavet Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari